Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my world. Um, I'm trying to still figure out how to get rid of the keyboard noise in the background because I don't know why. I just can't get rid of that noise. It's really hard to get rid of that noise. I've tried like a bunch of tests. I recorded multiple videos, and you can still kind of hear it in the background, but I would like to just completely get rid of it. And I don't know how to do that when it just keeps playing. So, and I think you guys can especially hear it whenever I'm talking. Like you can hear my keyboard whenever I press my keyboard, and it's super annoying, and I want to get rid of it, but I don't know how because I'm using like I'm using like noise suppression filter on OBS, and I'm reducing my gain, and that doesn't seem to be doing anything because I can still hear it in the back. I mean, it reduces it a little bit, but I can still hear it. And a lot of times when I record videos, I end up hearing it like later in the video and it starts getting really loud. So it's not it's just not good. Hold on, I'm gonna turn on my in-game volume a little bit because it's a little bit loud right now. But um, we need to work. I'm gonna work on a lot of things here, and you can see that this floor is now finished now, which is great. And what I decided to do is I decided to do a diagonal pattern that is like consistent, somewhat consistent, and it just looks nice. I didn't want to do like a checker pattern because checker pattern I feel like would just not look good here. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you think it would look good. Like if I did a blue and white checker pattern, maybe it would look good. But I wanted to use some of the glass here. And the black glass, it kind of makes it look like it's in a hole or something. I don't know. But anyways, here is a bunch of iron, and here's all my music discs. I had a bit of an issue. If we come over here, so this chest right here was starting to fill up with iron. Okay, why is that happening? This, hold on, that should not be happening. Okay, hopefully that doesn't happen again. I'm just going to put this in here. Did someone take the iron out of the... Is that what happened? Did he take iron out of the chest or something? Wait, he can't reach this one, can he? There's no way. It's too far away from him. There's no way. Unless... What the hell? Okay, I don't know why this is happening. He should be... Is he closer to the other chest now? There's no way. Okay, he still checks that one first, so he should just keep doing that. No, don't put it in... Yep, put it in there. Okay, he's... I don't know what happened there. You can see I'm having a little bit of issues. And honestly, guys, copper golems aren't the best for storage. Like, that most copper golems are really... They're really good for, like, your basic storage needs, but something like this, something that's a little bit more advanced, um, they just don't work as well. So, what I try to do is I try to set up this thing, I'm missing a lot of planks, that's why this is empty right now, but what I try to do is have this auto crafter. I try to hook it up to the auto crafter so the iron would go into this chest and then it would just make iron blocks, and this is set up so it only makes iron blocks. However, the issue with this is these are copper golems, and if I connect this if I like connect this chest to this chest with hoppers, the iron here is going to run out, and then the copper golem is just gonna put he's just gonna put like poppies and iron in this chest, and then all of a sudden now there's poppies and iron in here, and it clogs up the crafter, so it doesn't work. So, what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to create like one of those redstone hopper filters, because at this point I don't know what else I'm going to do. Sorry. Yeah, that whole thing over there, it's just a pain in my ass, and I'm gonna leave it like that for now, but I will change it in the future. But if we come over here, this is my wool farm. This whole hallway here took me a little while to complete, but I had fun building it. I experimented a bit with the hallway, and a part of me kind of wished that I don't know, because I think it would be nice to see like all the wool colors at the same time, you know? But I have all this in the way, so like a part of me, I don't know, maybe it's fine, but um, and then over here, I tried experimenting a little bit with the wall design by using the lights. I actually ran out of the lights, so I need to get more, which is why I have this in my inventory right now. And we have some windows out here, so you can actually see outside. Nothing, none of the exterior is like finished. It's all like you can still see everything, but over here I need to finish these walls because you can see I'm missing some lights, and then over here I'm planning on this area being like my melon farms, my melon and my pumpkin farm possibly. Um, and I think I'm gonna have a bee farm here as well, so I don't have to like keep waxing my copper golems. But you know what? I'm thinking about just kind of like not using the copper golems because they kind of suck. Like they're not very good at sorting items, I'll be honest. Like you have to set up in a specific way so that they're closer to one chest than the other. Otherwise, they'll just skip a chest and then they'll put it in your like, it's just doesn't work. So I'm gonna have to like use a different kind of storage setup. Speaking of storage, I don't know if I want to completely stop using the copper golems, because if we come up here, you can see I set up my chest like this, 3 by 3. Um, and honestly, I don't know if I want to keep it this way, because I could just have the copper golems like sort all my stuff, like it wouldn't be that hard, right? But if I just made like a hopper sorter kind of thing, whatever you want to call it, item filter sorter, whatever it is, um, if I just make one of those, I mean, the issue with hoppers is that it lags the game if you have too many, which is really stupid because hoppers are very important, but it actually does just lag the game. And I'm thinking, like, if I ever do make another base, or like another storage room area or whatever, like this right now, this is my main base. But in the future, um, in the very far future, I'm thinking about making a even bigger base, possibly. I don't know if I want it to be underground or what, but I don't know, dude. Like The thing about underground bases is that they're cool and they look prettier because they're more like compact and everything is more like consistent and everything. But I feel like I'll be doing a disservice to myself because you wouldn't be able to see like, you know, you wouldn't be able to see the exterior of the whole base, which is why that's the whole reason why I built a base here, like above ground, because I wanted you guys to see like the exterior of it. Um, Even though right now it's not really finished, I still need to finish it, but and I need to figure out like what kind of design I want for the exterior, but that's going to be in the future after I get all these other projects done, but um you remember do you guys remember when actually before I talk about that, I was going to say that I don't know if I said this already, but I was talking about my bigger base. So my bigger base, I might just end up doing the same thing with my beta world, and in my beta world, I want to build this massive cathedral, and I might just end up doing the same thing in this. It's going to be this massive stone cathedral. It's going to be made out of stone, and in this version too, it's going to be made out of stone. Because like, what else would I make it out of, right? And if I do end up making a storage room for it, I plan on having it, way bigger than this. It's probably going to be like multiple stories high and whatever. And I'm probably just going to use like the item filters because I think that's just way easier than using copper golems. But right now you can see I'm still not using copper golems yet. But if you come over here, you can see I have some dried kelp. That's because I found out about something. Remember how I said that I thought kelp didn't have any use? Well, I was wrong because it turns out you can make if you make 9 dried kelp and you basically do that by smelting or by cooking the kelp. If you cook 9 kelp and turn it into 9 dried kelp, you can turn that into a dried kelp block. And a dried kelp block, it can be cooked or smelted or whatever you want to, however you want to say it. It can be cooked 20 times. So that's like way better than just dried kelp because I think dried kelp just has a one-time. I don't even know if you can use that to cook, but it's a really good fuel source, and I just found out about it. So we actually have a bit of a setup right here for the farm. I'm planning on using 64, and yeah, I know this is a little bit overkill. I have a lot of like I'm gonna definitely need more than this many fence gates, actually, now that I think about it. But for now, I'm planning on using 64 kelp, and you can see I made it like a bubble elevator right here. And if we come up here, this is my new bedroom. It's more like a tower, and yeah, I broke a block there once, and it's just like that now. It's really I'm too lazy to fix it because I just don't care right now. But anyways, this is my new bedroom. It's a tower. I wanted to put a tower here, so I put one here, and it's roughly based off of a tower I saw on the internet. I didn't want to completely copy it. I just never built a tower before, so I needed some kind of schematic, some kind of inspiration for it, so I knew how to make it. So, anyways, I am going to have to start getting some more warped wood because I need it to expand my base and I'm running out of it. And I don't have any more I don't have any more of the warped warp blocks, which is like, it's basically like the warped leaves, I guess you could call it. I don't know. And right now I don't have a bone meal farm yet either, which could be super useful for me right now because if I had a bone meal farm, then I could just do this like really easily. I could also just make like a tree farm that supports warped trees, but for now I'm not gonna do that. Um, just because like tree farms, they use TNT, and I don't really trust TNT farms if they don't work. Like, if we come over here, I try to follow this tutorial to make a cobblestone farm because I really didn't want to go mining cobblestone for like half an hour. And this one used TNT as well. Well, you can see what happened. How it was supposed to work is the TNT was supposed to fall down. Um, there's waterlogged leaves, but I broke all of them. And the waterlogged leaves, they were supposed to like turn because you had to place lava in the middle, and the lava turned, you know, it would turn into cobblestone, and then the TNT would fall and break the cobblestone, and then it would have to fall in here. But something broke, and you see that stair right there? There's like an upside down stair. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but like I guess it just like started. Something must have broke, or it just like it started falling down. The water was in there, and it started like falling down. It just messed up the whole farm, and it blew up everything because for some reason it got fucked up. I don't know how, but it's also this farm is really weird because you have to be near it for it to work. Like you have to stay there, and I'd rather just have a farm where I can just kind of AFK and do other stuff or like just hang out or whatever, you know? Like I'd rather just do that. Um, I plan on probably making a different cobblestone farm. I want to make one of those AFK cobblestone farms where you can just like keep mining with your pickaxe and you just stay there in place. Because like I don't want to just dig out a huge area all the time in this game. It's really it gets to a point where it just gets super boring doing that all the time, and it gets really it just doesn't get fun anymore. So if I set up like an auto clicker or something like that, maybe it could work. I could even like sometimes when I AFK in this game, I go play like Minecraft Dungeons. Um, I remember one time I was trying to set up a wool farm, and it's not in this world; it's in a different world. But I was trying to set up a wool farm, trying to get all the 16 like wool colors, and that took me a long time because I didn't have like 16 sheep. I had to breed all 16 sheep, and it takes like 20 minutes for sheep to grow up. So that took forever, and I was doing it one at a time. I probably didn't have to do it that way, but I was trying to be safe as possible. So I was doing it one at a time, breeding sheep one at a time, and so I just played Minecraft Dungeons in another tab, and that's how I did it. And it took me forever, but I finally got it done. I'm glad about that. That's probably the only, like, annoying farm I made in this game, is the stupid wool farms. They take forever. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with, like, having a wool farm. It's just they're really annoying to set up. Because you have to deal with sheep, and sometimes the sheep don't want to cooperate with you, and you have to push them into their little hole, and it's just, it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, this is ridiculous. Um, but if you watched one of my videos, I moved all my sheep. Well, I didn't actually move all of them. It's really hard to move a bunch of animals all at once. It's one thing to like keep them inside a pen and feed them and stuff, but to move all of them at once, it is so hard to do because some of the sheep will get like uninterested and they'll start walking away, or some of them will like fall in a hole, and it's not easy. And I made a video about me trying to move my sheep. Um, it was really bad. A lot of my sheep died. Some of my sheep, some of the sheep were just starting to piss me off, so I killed them. But I have a sweeping edge. I was using a sweeping edge sword, so I ended up killing more than one sheep, which is not good. And I should probably not do that anymore. I will admit, like, one thing I don't like about the warped trees is number one, you have to bone meal the warped trees, which I think is really dumb because it makes warped trees, like, it makes it even more tedious task to use them. And number two, their leaves do not decay by themselves. They just stay in place. So you have to get rid of every single leaf. And it's very frustrating. And I end up having even more, like, storage issues because of it. Because I just have all these warped warp blocks. And I'm not using them for much. And it's not good because I need to use them for something. Like, otherwise I'm just having this overflow of warped warp blocks that I'm not using. So, it's not ideal. But after this, I'm gonna start placing a bunch of, jungle wood trees because those were the trees those were the fence gates. Uh, jungle wood fence gates. So if I used a different wood type, it just wouldn't look right. I need to, I don't know if free cam is available for this version. Because a lot of people use free cam for, like, farms and stuff, and I used to do that too, but, I don't know if that's available for this version, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be honest, though, like, I don't know if, I feel like a part of the issue with my microphone picking up noises in the background is because my desk is so, like, shaky, and my house is kind of old, like, really old, and everything is really, like, shaky and creaky, and whenever someone is walking up and down the stairs, it, like, shakes my whole room. It's really, it's really bad. Um, that's just how it is. And I just have to learn to live like that, but I really would like to move out eventually. I really like to move out, maybe in, like, within the next year or so. I think would be awesome. Because then, I mean, even if I lived in an apartment, I would be, like, I mean, obviously you still have to be quiet because you have other people living there. And it also depends on it if you're having roommates. Um, but I think honestly, if I was in an apartment, I think I would rather live without roommates, but the issue with that is that, like, there's less money coming in, and it's just kind of better to have more people. Because then you don't have to pay as much for rent or the bills. Like, because if you need like, if you live in an apartment with other people, it's pretty much ideal to from what I understand, it's ideal to basically equally pay for the bills. Like everyone pays the same amount no matter what. And it's just fair for everyone because then they can do like not only can they pay for their own groceries, but they can also pay for any other thing like video games or music or books or just whatever your hobby is. Really could be anything. I need to get some more. See, the issue with my with the bone meal I'm producing right now, because my iron farm is actually it's set up so it's producing, it's turning the poppies into bone meal. The issue with that is that I don't think it's producing it fast enough. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's time for me to get like a skeleton farm or something, but um I think what I want to do instead, I want to make a mob farm, like a big mob farm. A super huge one. And it's gonna have all the mobs spawning in it, obviously, except for Enderman. Because I already have an Enderman farm, I don't need more Enderman. So that's one of my plans. I don't know if I want to do it after this giant kelp farm that I'm making. It'll probably just be ideal if I did that. I don't know. We'll have to see. And I'm already running out of bone meal. That's not very good, but whatever. At least I have some shroom lights. After a while, the shroom lights kind of get a bit old. Like, right now, my color scheme for my entire base is basically, it's a very basic color scheme. And it's one that I actually think that works. It's one of my favorite color schemes. And that is blue, black, and white. I think they work together perfectly. And the only way I can get massive amounts of blue, black, and white blocks is if I get warped wood, pale oak wood, and deep slate. And I think it just works. If you do it the right way, you can see that's my tower right there. That's probably my, I don't know. That's probably the most fancy exterior I've done in this world so far. Because everything else just kind of looks ugly. I still have to finish the exterior of the main area right there. Like, that's not finished. So, I need to fix that at some point. But I don't know when. But I can't just leave it like that, otherwise it just doesn't look right. And at this point, I put so much effort into this base that I can't just, like, end up working on another one, because it'll just take even more time, and it's just not a good idea. I would have done all this stuff for nothing. So, I might as well try to make this look as good as I possibly can, while I still have it. But, like I said, I'm probably gonna make an even bigger base that looks even better than this in the future. I'm hoping. But I don't know. We'll just have to see. That's in the very far future from now, so I really... Yeah, see, I'm already running out of space. Not good. Okay, let's not do that. I don't think there's like a crimson... No. I'll just put that there. Unless I thought I placed one already. I guess I didn't. I need like a miscellaneous chest or something, I don't know. just a chest where miscellaneous stuff goes, but you can see a lot of this stuff is still empty. And that's because I don't have items for those chests yet. Which is a good thing. That's a good thing just to have available chests for more items. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna go ahead and get my jungle saplings. So I'm gonna need them. Okay, it's gonna be nighttime, which is fine. Actually, before I do that, I kind of keep forgetting to do this, but every time I come by the villagers, I should be trading with them. It's just a good idea because it levels them up. You get emeralds, and then you can like trade for golden carrots, and you also get other good things besides golden carrots, like redstone. Because, like, who wants to go mining for redstone at this stage of the game? I really don't want to. But I don't know. It gets to a point in this game where, like, mining isn't fun if you have to do it for something. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I'd rather be doing other things. But anyways, drop down here. I think my shears ran out. Some of them might have ran out already. You can see I already have a bunch of wool here, which is nice. But I think some of those shears are running out, so we're gonna have to deal with that. And I don't know if are they already restocked? Because it's the next day? They might be. No. Yeah, what about, I can buy carrots from you. I like to just buy carrots from him, and then what I do is I keep a stack of golden carrots, and I put the rest in this chest. And all of those golden carrots, that's just like, in case I forget to trade with the villager, or if I just need more, or whatever, just for whatever reason, really. But I have so many golden carrots at this point that it's like, if something bad happens to me, I'll probably be fine. Like if I die and I lose all my gear, I mean, I won't be able to get all my stuff back instantly, but I should be able to get most of it back. Or like at least some of it. Because I do have a decent amount of diamonds, but it's not enough, really. And the other tricky thing, too, is... I also just found out about this, but there's a bunch of enchantments in the game that are only available through, like, treasure chests and stuff like that, like loot chests. So, I know there's one that's Swift Sneak. You can only find that in an ancient city, and those have like I think it's like a 23% chance. So and I do know there's an ancient city near spawn, I'm pretty sure. So whenever I do want to, I can go there and see if it has Swift Sneak, but if it doesn't, then I'm gonna have to go find a different ancient city. And who knows how far away that would be. But if I had to imagine, it's probably pretty far. And honestly, it gets to a point where, like, coming across the deep dark is a little bit annoying, because if I'm mining and there's a deep dark nearby, it's like, okay, and well, now I have to avoid that, and then I have to go try to find, like, this whole new area where there isn't a deep dark, and it's a little bit annoying. I don't know. That's just my opinion, though. Otherwise, you get destroyed by the warden, and that's just not a good thing. I've only been to an ancient city once, and my friend was with me. He was showing me around the place, and it started playing, like my screen started getting dark, and I didn't know what that meant, so I just kind of started freaking out. Well, apparently when the screen goes dark and you're in the deep dark, that means that like the warden has been summoned, or he's like nearby. So I didn't even know that the warden was nearby, and he could have killed me, and I had like max enchanted like netherite gear on me. So it was really scary. I didn't want to lose all my gear. Speaking of structures, I want to talk about some things in this game that don't make a lot of sense to me. So, I think one of my biggest, one of my biggest complaints of this game is that XP in this game doesn't make any sense. And I know they added XP like a really long time ago. They added it in the adventure update, I'm pretty sure, which is beta 1.8. It's like right before release, basically. And XP just does not make any sense. Because if you were to play any other, like, fantasy, MMO, RPG, whatever, XP does not work like this. Like, usually XP is... Usually how your XP levels work is that, like, you level up and you get points or something, or you get to, like, allocate points to a specific skill or a specific trait that you have to make it more interesting. But in Minecraft, that is not the case, and it's completely different. They just made it completely... I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. And the other annoying thing is that it's like, it's RNG based. And back in the day when they first added it, like, people must have been really ticked off because if you wanted a good enchantment, like, it didn't tell you what enchantment you were getting, so you just had to guess. So if you got an enchantment you didn't like, you just basically kept on wasting resources. And they didn't have mending yet, either. I don't know when mending was added, to be honest, now that I think about it, but they didn't have mending either, so they were actually wasting a lot of resources on trying to get a good enchantment. I mean, I feel like at that point you wouldn't try getting a good enchantment or a specific enchantment you want. You just kind of hope for the best that you get something decent, I suppose. But yeah, that's my biggest complaint about this game is that the XP, it doesn't make any sense. They should have made it different when they added it. Like, they should have made some sort of like points system, maybe. Maybe they could have had you have it so you have different skills, maybe. But if you did it that way, it would be a lot more in depth. It'd probably take a lot more time to implement that kind of thing. But if you had like skill levels like fishing or farming or like bartering with the villagers, they could have done that, honestly. Wouldn't that be cool? If you could have like some sort of bartering skill, and if you level it up, you get like discounts from the villagers. I think that would be really cool. And it's such a missed opportunity. I don't know why they did it the way that they did it. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I don't know why they did it the way they did it. It doesn't make much sense. Um, and like I've said already, all the other games do it differently. So why not just do it, like, I don't know if they were trying to be different, but the way, like, if you're trying to be different, at least do it in a way that's not annoying, because right now, the way XP works is that it's RNG based, and you have to sit there for, like, however long to get, like, Feather Falling 4, because there's, like, a really low chance of getting Feather Falling 4. I mean, I wanted to get, like, Punch 2 on my bow, and there's, like, I don't remember, there's, like, a 6% chance, and I didn't get that for a while. I mean, at most, I was getting, like, Punch 1, but then what happened is that I made a really bad mistake. I ended up using my max enchanted bow on a dispenser. And I was tired at the time. But I ended up accidentally using my max enchanted bow on a dispenser, which was a really bad idea. Don't do that. When you're making dispensers, I would suggest just putting your bow in, like, a chest or something, because you can probably make the same mistake very easily. I kind of wish there was a way where you couldn't do that, but you could always just, like, put your bow in a chest or something like that, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, the enchantments in this game, they just do not make any sense, and it's very RNG based, and it's very annoying, and nobody wants to wait there for like an hour in Minecraft trying to get the best enchanted gear, because the best enchantment is like a 6% chance or something ridiculous to get. It's kind of annoying, but that's just how it works right now for some reason. And that's how it's worked for ever since it was added. I don't think Mojang is ever gonna change the way it works, but if they do, I really hope that they do take my advice and that they make it so there's like different skills that you can have, like the farming skill. I think that would be cool. Like, you should be able to, and I think how they should do it is like how it would work is that I guess you would use less durability on your hoe the higher skill you have, if that makes sense, because you're not like, you actually know what you're doing. You know, you're learning, and it's that I think that would just make more sense, because I don't know, just think about it, like using less durability, that just means like you actually know what you're doing when you're farming, and you're not wasting the tools that you have. And I think the other thing is that they should, like, if they do have like a farming skill, they should also make it so that, like, I mean, if I ever made a game like Minecraft, this is what I would probably add, but um they should also make it that you have a higher crop yield when you harvest the crops, the better skill that you have. I think that would be a really cool idea. It's just that Minecraft is not, I don't know, they just didn't do that for some reason. Um if I knew how to make Minecraft mods though, I think I would try to make a mod like that. Because that's not, I really like that idea. And then you could also have like a fishing skill. And I know fishing is not a really interesting part of the game. I mean, the only thing you really do in fishing is get fish, and then you can breed cats with it and stuff. And cats don't really, I mean, cats, they scare creepers, so they have some use, and they scare phantoms away. But other than that, they're just a pet, like a dog. Like, it's the same thing as a dog, basically. Um, in Minecraft, I mean. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I know there's some people who are very passionate about their animals. But, yeah, I just think, like, if they made fishing more interesting, maybe if they had some sort of like Stardew Valley styled fishing where once you catch the fish, it's like a little mini game where you have to press spacebar to keep the fish on your line. I think that would be pretty cool. There's probably a mod for that, but I don't know. And then they just like add more fish to the game and they should probably make it so you can even sell the fish. I think that would be even cooler. Like if you could sell fish to the fishermen, you can now that I think about it, you probably can do that. You can probably sell the fish to the fishermen because it would make sense. But my point is like they need to add like way more fish than just like because the only fish you can catch in the game are salmon and cod. Like that's it. That's all you get. And it's not that interesting. I mean, the only other thing you can get from fishing is good loot. And I mean, like that's pretty cool, but it gets to a point where it's like, okay, well, now I've caught everything and I have all this random junk like pufferfish and other random crap and there's nothing to do with it. So, and fishing is another RNG based thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That that actually makes sense to have fishing RNG based. But I just think they should add more fish to the game and they should make I don't know, they should add like some fish that are like super rare maybe and then you can sell it to the villager for like a lot of emeralds or something. I think that would be really cool. Or maybe you can do other things with the fish besides just like selling it, you know? Because if I think if you could only sell the fish then it wouldn't really have any other purpose really. Late game I'm saying like this is for late game stuff. Um but eventually I want to get to a point in my world where I just like do whatever I want basically, you know? Um I want to build all the things that I plan on building. And I also want to like right now I want to finish a bunch of farms that because if you get the farms done earlier, then you get a lot more resources since they're always running in the background, which is why I always make them first. Um, but some people could argue that, oh, why are you spending so much time making farms in the game instead of actually having fun? Well, sometimes I actually do have fun making farms. Like if I'm making a ridiculously big farm, like a sugarcane farm, like a huge sugarcane farm, sometimes that's fun. But some people don't like making farms. I mean, to be honest with you guys, there's some farms in this game I don't like the wool farms. I hate setting those up. I've never had fun setting up wool farms. Oh, look at that. I'm just gonna snipe these guys. I don't think it's gonna instantly kill them though, because it's raining, and this bow has flame. Okay. Oh, okay. He snuck up on me. Okay. You know what else? A lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this, but I like the pillagers, and this is just kind of like a personal preference, really, because I mean, yeah, sometimes the pillagers get a little bit annoying, but I do like the fact that they changed the way they worked because it used to be if you killed a pillager captain, um, you would always get the bad omen effect. But now they just drop the bottles, so that way you can still go in your village without like getting into trouble. And I actually like it that way. Um, but I know there's a lot of people that don't like pillagers, but I think they're actually an interesting enemy because it's like this. I mean, we don't know a lot about them, obviously. All we know is that they're like evil villagers, basically, and they do all sorts of crazy stuff. Like there's the evokers and the the ravagers, whatever the heck those things are. I think the pillagers are kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool having evil illagers. I think it's cool that you can like invade their mansions and stuff and loot it. Um, but I mean, you can also just turn their mansions and their outposts into like totem farms, basically. But I'm not gonna do that for a while. I think the totem of undying. I think it is a great. I think it's a great item. I just think that they probably should make it harder to get because right now all you have to do is just kill like all you have to do is set up a totem farm and those are really easy to make. You could probably make that like really early game and then you just get infinite totems. And that's kind of an issue with a lot of things in this game is it's very easy to do stuff. Like, okay, to be fair, when I got all my max enchanted gear, I was probably playing the game for about 40 hours at that point. And I feel like if you've been playing a game for that long, then at that point you should probably have all the end game gear. I feel like it's justified. Um, but you could get all this stuff like in 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours, I want to say, because it's really easy to set up an Enderman farm. It's really easy to mine diamonds. It's easy to kill the Ender Dragon, even though I sucked at it. But there's like certain ways you can do it to just like completely cheese the Ender Dragon fight. Like some people, when they start a Minecraft world, they immediately kill the Ender Dragon. That's the first thing they do. Like they just focus on speed running the game so that they can get an elytra and shulker boxes and all sorts of other stuff. But right now I'm not really playing the game to get all that stuff right now. All I want is just the bare minimum, which is basically max enchanted diamond gear. One thing I will say that I do like about this game is that some of the enchantments, like Swift Sneak and Soul Speed, like I've said before, you have to get that from structures. I think that's really cool. Um, it's just that, I mean, it's also another RNG based thing, so it's like, what if it doesn't have the enchantment that you want there? And then you have to go find another, like, ancient city or bastion or whatever. So that's also kind of, I don't know, you need to balance that out somehow. I'm not a game developer, so don't. I'm not trying to say, like, I know what's best for the game or anything. I'm just saying, like, I think these would be interesting ideas if they just changed the game this way, you know? Because there's a lot of things in the game that don't have a lot of they don't have a lot of utility to them. Like you can't like fishing. You don't really do much in fishing. Like I've said, You just stare at the screen and you wait for a fish, and then you just left click and you get the fish. Like that's all it is, and it's super easy to do. But like I said, if they had some sort of like Stardew Valley fishing mechanic where it was like a mini game and you had to press spacebar to reel the fish in and keep it on your line, I think that would be really cool. It would make fishing, I think it would make fishing a lot more interesting. Actually, that's probably one of my favorite parts about video games like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley is fishing. I don't know why. I mean, I have fished in real life before too, and I do also enjoy that, so maybe that's why. But some people in real life they don't enjoy fishing, and I understand that. It can be a little bit boring sometimes, but I mean the key to it is just to be patient. And I think it's I mean, I think it's way healthier than just like playing video games and fishing on a video game or whatever. Because number one, you're not like, you know, you're not wasting your brain power on something that's completely useless to life. I mean, you can play a video game and still think about, you know, what you want to do in life, but it's just nice to be doing things in real life, you know? And I think that's very important that people take breaks because if they don't, then they get bored of video games and then they no longer have fun playing video games and it's just not, it's just not good. Which is why you should probably take breaks. But yeah, I'm not saying you should go fishing. Like you you can do whatever you want, obviously. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's a very it's a very nice activity because you're not really doing. I mean, yeah, you're not really doing much, but at the same time, you get a lot of time to just think about other things in life. You know what I mean? Instead of just video games and stuff, like, you get to think about what other things you're gonna do. And you know what? To be, like, for a lot of people, when they grow older, they start becoming bored of video games. They don't enjoy it as much as they did when they were a kid. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they have a lot of responsibilities. I mean, you can still enjoy a video game when you're older. It's just that, when you're older, you end up knowing a lot more than when you were a kid. When you were a kid, you didn't care what was going on. You just wanted to play video games all the time because you didn't have anything else to do. You just wanted to play with friends and play with video games and have fun. And then you get older and then you're like, "Oh god, I have to do homework. Otherwise, I'm not going to graduate and then I have to like get a job and then I have to learn how to drive a car and then I'm going to have a car and then and then I'm going to move out and then and then all this other stuff." And I feel like once you're in your 20s after high school and stuff like that, you're trying to figure out like what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, but you're not really sure yet. I mean, some people already know what they're gonna do for the rest of their life, and they just pick it. But some people, they'll only do it for like 10 years of their life, and then they end up going like, you know what? I can't keep doing this for whatever reason because I have kids or whatever, or I have to do something else because this happened to me in my life. So they have to end up changing their career. It's different for everyone, you know. And it kind of sucks sometimes when you want to do something in life and then all of a sudden something changes and you like prepared for it and then it's like, okay, well now what do I do? I didn't have a backup plan. But yeah, anyways, I'll be right back. Another thing I want to talk about is that the way that the way that they update the game nowadays, I mean, a lot of people don't like it because basically it almost seems like every update is the same. They add a new mob, like a couple new mobs, or they add like a new biome or something, and then that's it really. And they add like some new blocks and new items and stuff. But that's it. And there's not like a new game mechanic or anything like that. I mean, to be fair, if they did add a new game mechanic, it would probably change like the entire meta of Minecraft, and people might not like that, you know? Because there's still people who would rather have it so that, they can get everything from their villagers, and they don't have to spend that much effort doing it, because they would rather have, you know, the ability to just get any block they want, any item they want, and do whatever they want. But I think, if you want to do that, then maybe you should just play creative instead. Like, if you just want to have everything. But maybe those people also want to challenge, so it's like, who knows? Everyone's different. But yeah, I just think, like, most of the updates. I think the Mounts of Mayhem update was pretty cool. Like the Nautilus and stuff, but the Nautilus, it's like they add all these mobs. See, that's the other issue, is they add a lot of mobs that only really have one use, and you don't really do anything else with them. And then it's like, okay, I got the mob, and now I don't do anything else with it. And you never end up using it again because you already used it. It's kind of boring for some people. So, I don't know. I mean, Minecraft, they don't have to always, you know, target a specific group. They don't always have to target, like, try to appeal to, like, a specific player base. They don't really have to do that. I mean, that probably isn't a good thing if they did that, because then, for one, they would lose a lot of money, and two, I think a lot of people wouldn't like that just because it's like, oh, the corporate people are trying to appeal to this minority or whatever, and Minecraft is getting political and all this other stuff. So like, it probably is just better not to do that kind of thing, you know? Um, but it is kind of funny because the sword and the bow, they're still the best weapons in the game. I mean, you could argue the spear is more like a mid to late game weapon. The mace, from what it sounds like, the mace just sucks. Like, you can't do shit with the mace, which is stupid because you have to, like, time it very specifically. You have to know how to use it, and it takes, like, I mean, it does take some skill, but a lot of that skill is just falling down and hitting something, and you have to time it, and it's really, I just don't like it. I don't know if I would ever use it. I think the only reason I would have the mace is just to get the item, and that's it. And I mean, there's no other reason for me to have it other than that. I used to think the mace was super cool, but I never got it. But the mace is just like, it's just not a good weapon. I mean, I do think it's cool that they're adding weapons where they're like unique because you have to do specific things to do more damage. I think that's a cool idea. It's just that the mace is not one of them. It just sucks because of the way it works. So the sword and the bow is still, they're still the best weapons. Like a max enchanted sword, that's still gonna two-hit basically everything. Anything with 20 HP, which is a majority of the mobs. So, I don't know. But, I mean, this game has existed for so long, and I played this game for so long, that I just feel like at this point I don't care much what they add. Let's go ahead and start getting a bunch of these. This is probably way more than enough. Let's just put a bunch of these back. Probably don't need this much blocks. You know what else I don't like? And this goes back to the XP thing, is that once you get like level 30, um, if you get anything past that, it doesn't matter. I think that's really dumb. Like, they should make it so that you can get a higher level than just 30, because why would you make it that way? It's just stupid. I think it is cool that you can get like really insanely high levels in this game. It's just that they didn't. Eh, the way they've made levels in this game does not make any sense. You know? I think a lot of people would agree with me, but I don't know. Maybe you disagree. I still haven't done anything with that chest. Probably have to, but um, Yeah, so right here, this is going to be the kelp farm. I'm not really sure if I want it to be up. I think it would be better if it was up higher, so I can just access like the smoker and the chests. And then over here, this is the pumpkin and melon farm, and I could add like a cobblestone farm here, maybe if I somehow managed to squeeze that in too. I could also use this wall for that, because this is empty space over this way. So there's always that possibility. Um, or maybe if there's enough space over here, I could use that for my kelp farm. But let's go ahead and just let's get all the materials. And this is basically it's basically the same thing as making a like a sugarcane farm or a any of those farms, because they're really easy to make. It's just pistons and observers, and you have to put it in the water, and it collects all the you know, it collects all the kelp. It's really easy. I think the kelp might grow faster than the other stuff. I don't know. I should really have like an infinite water source inside my house, but I don't have it right now. So I just have to sleep and wait for daytime. I don't think I'm gonna finish the kelp farm in this video though, because I am running out of time. Um, I will still show you guys like what it looks like when I'm finished with it, obviously. Oh god. Let me get my... Oh yeah, here's another complaint I have. The skeletons that get stuck in the water. Because the skeletons they'll get stuck in the water and they will never go up on land. Never. So they just stay in the water forever, and it's super annoying because they'll just sit there forever and you have to go kill them. And I really hate it. I don't know why Minecraft does this, but it's super annoying. There's another complaint I was gonna say about the game, but I honestly don't remember what it was. No. Okay. I think I'm just gonna like dig out this area here. You can see there's like a flower forest, which is really cool because I can just easily get flowers if I needed any of them. I think this flower forest actually has all the flowers. Like almost all the flowers. You can see there's peonies, alliums, or however you say it, that azure flowers, and tulips. There's like orange, white, pink tulips, pretty much all the tulips. I think there's a red tulip too, but I don't remember. There probably is. You know what's interesting about this game is there's like there's no direction. There's no story to this game really. I mean, a lot of people try to theorize and stuff and say, "Oh no, this is actually Minecraft actually has lore," but like no, Minecraft does not. Minecraft doesn't have lore. You can't convince me that Minecraft has lore. Like literally. There's no concrete evidence of that. There's no I mean, you could say that like, oh, in Minecraft Legends, the villagers and the piglins and the illagers and blah blah blah, but I mean, okay, but that's all we know. And to be completely honest with you guys, like Minecraft does not have a direction, which is very interesting because somehow it's still the most sold game of all time. I don't know if any of you knew this, but this is the most sold game of all time. Also, you can see my ridiculous line of hoppers. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. You know what I just realized too? Um, I only need 32 hoppers because otherwise, because the way it's going to be set up is that there's going to be hoppers and observers on both sides. So I only need about 32 hoppers, which is good, because that means I can have a lot more hoppers. So let's just go ahead and get rid of about 32 of them, because I don't need that many. Hopefully... Okay. I don't know how much is going to be 32. Let's see, how much is this? 13. Okay. Let's just go down here and do it, because I think it'll be safer. Okay, that should be about 32. Which is perfect, because it gives me a lot more... I don't have to use up a bunch of space for that. There's the hopper line. This wandering trader is just kind of hanging out here. I actually want to know if you guys care if I skip out on the parts of me building stuff. Like, I don't know what kind of stuff you guys like to watch, really. I know there's not a lot of you people watching. I know that. But I know there's a little decent amount of people that like to watch my videos, but um, for these videos, I just like to have them be very, very little editing. I don't like to do editing. And the other thing is, like, the people... I mean, this is more like a... It's more of a let's play style kind of video, where there's not a lot of editing, and some people might prefer that kind of style other than, you know, than the other stuff. You know what? I think... Hold on. Instead of using these, I'm just going to, like, get rid of all this, and I'm going to end up using my warped wart blocks, because I haven't used it for anything else. I might as well use it for something, right? Because I'm not using it for anything right now. But, yeah, like I said, like, I don't do much editing in these videos. Like, I've done some editing before in my past videos. I'll cut out a lot of, you know, segments where I'm not saying anything, but I don't know. Some people like... I mean, a lot of people are different. So I can't obviously just make videos for only one specific type of person, you know? But Let's Plays are not really a popular thing anymore. I mean, some people still watch them, but these style of videos are just not popular with most people. But you know what? At the same time, I don't really care because I'd rather just make videos that I enjoy making. Like, if there's a bunch of people that don't like watching these videos, then they don't have to watch them. Like, it's it's as simple as that, you know? My inventory's full. I don't want to get rid of any of this stuff. I'm just gonna get rid of all this random birch crap because it's clogging my inventory. But yeah, if you... I don't know what kind of stuff you guys like to watch. I mean, you like watching this, obviously. So you must like this kind of stuff. But yeah, Let's Plays are just not really... They're not a popular thing to do anymore. And people will, you know... They'll basically do what's the most trendy thing at the time. Like, if they find out that, oh no, Let's Plays are not popular anymore, I'm not going to do Let's Plays anymore. I'm going to heavily edit my videos and whatever. Then that's, you know, it's going to become the most popular thing to do. Okay, yeah, there's no way I'm going to find that. I don't know why I thought I could find that in this long line of hoppers. Okay. I believe the next step, we just have pistons. I don't know if you guys like having music in my videos either. This channel is, at the moment, this channel is very experimental because I'm just kind of trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't. Um, I don't think I'll ever try to make money off of this channel because I'm very far from that, and I'm just not good at YouTube in general. I mean, for some, it's weird because sometimes my videos take off. Like I made a video about me playing Roblox, and I was playing a myth game, and that got like 500 views. Like a bunch of people really liked that kind of stuff. But I mean, the thing is like I don't really like. I'm not. I'm not really a myth hunter anymore. I'm not. You know. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore, and it's not that interesting to me. Nowadays, it's not. Um, but when I was like way back then, when I was playing Roblox as a kid, I mean, yeah, that stuff was really interesting to me, and I did it like all the time. But now it's like, okay, I already did all that, and I don't want to do it again because there's no reason to. But I don't know, you guys really like to watch that stuff. And I think the reason why I got so many views on that video was because the timing of me uploading that video, the myth I was investigating, it was a relatively new myth in terms of like popularity. Like people were just finding out about it, so people are probably looking it up and stuff, and we're like, oh yeah, I want to watch this video because this guy just goes through the whole myth. And the other thing is, I don't know if kids like to watch my videos, but my channel is not, it's not kid friendly. I would say my channel is meant for I wouldn't say it's really meant for adults either. Like really old adults. I guess it's not meant for like middle-aged people, is what I'm trying to say. I want my channel to be just more for like, I guess people like late teens, late teenagers to like people in their 20s is what I want this channel to be for. So, I don't know. I think adding some light to this would probably be a good idea because I don't want like a drown to spawn in here. That would not be good. So let me go ahead and get a shroom light and get this stupid wandering trader out of my way. Come on, get off my stupid block. Okay. Yeah, let's just go ahead and like, I wish the hopper picked that up. I don't know why it's not. Okay, I don't know how the llama got up here. How did you get up here? Seriously. Oh, okay, I guess... Whatever. Anyways, so let's go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. I did not say that on purpose. 1, 2. I did not mean to say that on purpose as a joke, guys. I hate that stupid meme. Hold on. Honestly, that's probably like one of the worst memes to ever exist. Now that I think about it, I can't think of a dumber meme than that. In all honesty. Probably one of the worst memes ever. Yeah, I'm just watching him. Seeing what else he does. Okay, so you want to add fences. We're gonna need a lot more warped wart blocks. Throw away a bunch of other stuff as well, because I don't need this. Yeah, I really feel like a lot of people on the internet, a lot of people who grew up on the internet really hate it nowadays. Just because of how much things have changed. And that's perfectly fine. Like, I kind of grew up, you know, being on the internet as well. And I also don't like how things have been lately. I mean, nowadays, it's just like, it really seems like all that anybody does is try to do, like, the most trendiest thing. They'll do, like, the stupidest internet trend, like, that's all it is, really, like, it's really dumb. People don't want to come up with original ideas. They just want to do what's the most trendy thing. And eventually it gets really boring because it's just the same thing over and over again. And it's shoved down our throats so much. And I'm gonna say all this to bring up probably one of my most controversial opinions. That opinion is that, okay, I don't know if I've talked about this on my channel before, but I used to, I don't like liminal spaces anymore. I think that the idea is cool, but it's just become like this huge internet trend. And there's so many people who just will say that anything is a liminal space. Like, oh, my house looks spooky. My house looks slightly off. It's like liminal or whatever. Or they'll go to like a hotel and they say it's liminal just because. And then they post it on Reddit and it's like, okay, you're just karma farming. It's not actually like it's so stupid. And it's become this huge internet trend now. And I don't know if anyone agrees with me. I'm not saying that liminal spaces are stupid. I'm just saying it's stupid that it's become this huge trend and everyone just thinks that anything could be a liminal space. It's like it's dumb. You know, like I said, I'm not saying that liminal spaces are stupid. I just think it sucks that it's become this huge internet trend. And now whenever anybody sees anything slightly creepy or now that anybody sees anything that's like slightly off about their house or something, they're like, "Oh, this is liminal." It's like, no, that's not what a liminal space is. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what it actually is. And it's just become a buzzword basically. It's become this buzzword that's been overused. And it's stupid that it's become that way. And nowadays it's like whenever I hear somebody say that on the internet, I'm like, yeah, okay, this person is just saying that word because it's popular to say that. I mean, you could disagree with me and say that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, like, I think the whole liminal space thing is really overdone. It's become this huge trend, and people, like, way overhype it when it's really not anything. It doesn't add a whole lot of, it doesn't add anything, like, useful, I guess, to life. You could argue that, you know, people have made money off of it. They've made careers out of it, so it is kind of important in that way, but realistically to most people it's not that important. But people, you know, like to think it's very people like to think it's like life-changing or whatever shit when really like there's a lot of other things to be concerned about in life than like the back rooms or some shit. You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense to somebody. Hold on. I'm pausing the video because I just want to see like what this guy actually. I want to see what this guy does. I'm not trying to hate on liminal spaces or anything. I'm just saying like people, yeah, people way overdo them. They way overhype them, and a lot of people just hop on this big trend, and then it just becomes uninteresting and stupid, and it really sucks. Okay, if I put glass... Oh, I can't... That's so weird. I did not know I could do that. For some reason, glass, I don't think it counts as a full block. So, I don't know why that is. I think I might actually... I need to have this area right here block completely full of air, actually. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here because the video is getting a little bit long and it's going to take forever to upload, so I might as well just end it, and I'll show you guys when I'm done with this. But I'll see you guys later.